What is up? Thank you for coming to my channel, SplinterPOV. Shout out to the joiners. Shout out to the Point of View crew. And bro, I've been noticing something, man. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. And just let me present it to you like this, like straight up, like, where's all the skinheads at? What happened to the skinhead movement, man? I'm not talking about the dudes that say they're skinheads. I'm talking about the ones you look at them and you say, hey, there's a skinhead. Where's all the dudes in their boots and braces, their Fred Perrys, their snap caps, their flight jackets? Bro, in my teenage years, you just go around town and you just see them. There's so many organizations in town. You had the Sharps, Skinheads Against Racial Prejudice. A lot of people don't even realize that they have anti-racist skinheads. They do. Sharps. They're like 50 deep, Bakersfield at the time. So deep that the Bakersfield, California did a whole feature on them. Took their picture, put it on the front page. Bro, you had them. Probably had a dozen traditional skinheads. The traditionals are the ones that are just into the style and the music. Because in the 60s, when the skinhead movement started out, it was about style and music. It wasn't until the 70s when the whole political agenda got attached to it. So you have traditionals. Just want to take it back to the roots, the style and the music. And of course, you had the separatists in town. At AWS, Blue Six, Strike Force, and AWS was so big that they're from Orange County. And they opened up a chapter in Bakersfield. They opened up a chapter in Sacramento. I told the story before about how the skinheads from AWS in Bakersfield went up to a chapter meeting in Sacramento. I broke in their little clubhouse and took some Doc Martens. But dude, I wasn't an opportunist out on the hunt just trying to come out and steal. I got done dirty. That was my run back. I don't want to get into it now. Hey, but they went to Sacramento for a meeting. I went there, got sold some Docs, and they caught me slipping and jumped me a couple months later. The whole point being, dude, there were so many organizations in town. You would go, just walk about, drive about, go to the store, the movies, the mall, and you would see them. When I went to Berkeley a weekend or so ago, I guess it was last weekend. Dude, time is so weird. Time moves very weird. My watch runs on gasoline. Doesn't even run on batteries anymore. I guess it was last weekend I went to Berkeley, homeboy. I expected to see some skinheads because they had a big skinhead presence there back in the day. There's none. Then I start thinking, wow, I went to San Francisco a couple months ago. None there either. When I was a kid, we always used to wear these braces. Skinheads and punk rockers, just kind of similar. They both wear Doc Martens. They both wear the flight jackets. They both wear the braces. I was never a skinhead, but I was a punk rocker. The skinheads and punk rockers were like this, merged in Bakersfield. We all hung out at Bam Bams. We all hung out at Mars. All this in the same kind of music, kind of ran in the same circles. When we'd want to get our braces, you have to order them from Nana's in England, or I think they had a Nana's in San Francisco, or you could drive to Fresno. There's a record store that sold them. We'd go to Fresno, and you'd pull up, and there'd be skinheads and punk rockers. Dudes walking around, wearing braces, Doc Martens. Boots and braces, homeboy. You do not see that anymore. You don't see it anywhere at all. I haven't been there, but I would expect to see a big skinhead presence in San Diego. Dude, you guys see boots and braces there ever? I would also expect to see a big skinhead presence in Ventura. They had the skinhead dogs back in the day. I don't think that clicks around anymore. There's a couple of books written on them. They had some crazy stuff happen in their scene. I'm going to cover it in a video soon. But dude, are there any boots and braces in Ventura? Dude, I don't think so. I think the whole movement, homeboy, where did it go? I think I have an answer. I think I know where it went. This is not a rhetorical question. I have a very good theory on why you don't see people walking around in boots and braces. Why there appears to just be no more skinheads seen no more. None at all. Here's why. Trip on this. This is IMO. When I first started doing time, and dude, let me give you a hint. You can link all this back to the prison system. You can link it right back to the prison system, homeboy. Imagine that. When I first started doing time, my first term, the whole term from arrest to release, I just met two skinheads. One in law school reception, a dude named Speedy from San Fernando Valley, and one on Mainline, a dude named Byrne, rest in peace, from Riverside Skinhead. He ended up getting ended by a dude from NLR. So, only two skins I met the whole time I was doing my term. I came back my first violation. I don't think I've seen any skinheads at all. My second violation, I remember there was one, again from Riverside. Dave Douglas. He had Douglas tattooed on his stomach. I used to call him Douglas. It was funny the first time he started getting mad. You ever notice that? You tell a joke or something at someone's expense and it's kind of funny and you like beat it like a dead horse. I just always call him Douglas. I thought that was funny. Douglas, hell no, Douglas, brother. And he got pissed off about it. Anyways, met him, skinhead. Then let's see, come back another violation, maybe 1. Then I come back 10. Then I come back again on another violation, 15, 20. Dude, the skinhead population in prison exploded. I'd say around 2004, 2005. Just freaking exploded. From none to a grip. And here's why. Here's why. Man, I got a gang of theories, huh? Well, you had NLR in the mid to late 90s. And when you went to prison as a white boy, and you went in there at Peckerwood, you can go in there, do your time. If trouble comes to you, you handle it, but you don't go looking for no trouble. You're in there programming. You're there for the homeboys. They need you. You're working out, but you're not up there kicking the dust. You're kicking back and you're Peckerwood. Or you can go in there and kick up dust, have weapon stock, make weapon, carry one, be an instigator, a pot stirrer, be one that always wants to regulate, just be all the way in the mix, high power, and guess what that is? You start gang banging, that's NLR. If you don't want just a lot of people don't like saying just a wood, but the kind of would boil down to sometimes just a wood, homeboy. A white boy that comes in does his time. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just a wood, brother, and I love it. PFL, Peckerwood for life. But some people want more. They want a gangbang. Peckerwood's not a gang. They actually want to get in there and, homeboy, NLR. They have a thirst for just more, dude. They want to kick up more dust. They want to join a gang. They just want to, NLR. That's where all those hardcore psycho knuckleheads went. Dude, but guess what happened when they validated NLR, took them off the main line, slammed them in the shoe because they were just a little bit too crazy, and they got the attention. You know why NLR got validated and start having to do all their time in the hole? Because they had a mandatory hole appearance. CDC didn't like that one bit, a mandatory hole appearance. That means if you're NLR, as soon as you show up to the pen, you have to report to the hole. That means as soon as you show up to the pen, you got to do something to report to the hole. You're going to do some violence. They didn't like that. None of these dudes are coming in and just right away looking for victims. They want dudes that'll come in looking to program, homeboy. Come in, get their cell, get their bed, order their package, get their job, and chill. Yeah, of course, sling those freaking things if it comes down to it, but not a mandatory hole appearance. I'm not saying nothing wrong with it. I'm saying CDC had a problem with it. That's why they slammed those dudes. One of the reasons, put them on the hole, called them a prison gang. Is what they were and what they are. But, however, and therefore, whenever they removed NLR off the main line, it created a vacuum. Now what do you do if you want to come in and you don't want to just program and kick back and just represent whiteboard the fullest? You want more than that. You actually want to lose a year or two. You actually want to do some gang banging and get gang related and keep a filetto on you at all times and just, dude, you want to make yourself a name and just be a heavy hitter. What do? There's no NLR to join. Skinhead. So then you just start seeing all these people explode. A big skinhead population in prison. But, trip on this though. If you have some dude coming into prison, he's going to join skinhead, how are you going to teach him the culture? You can't. When I was at Soledad, my cellie was Trouble. A skinhead from IE. He became a skinhead at Soledad. He was on a level 1 yard. The skinheads wanted to put some work in and jump some dude. He jumped him. He went to the hole. Came back to level 3 yard. Told him, I'm a skinhead. I'm like, hey, you got docs? He's like, huh? I was like, braces? What do you mean? Levi Stay Press? V-neck sweater? Button-down collar? He didn't know none of it. I'm like, oi, Last Resort, the Foreskins, oi, Chartbusters. He doesn't know any of the music I'm talking about because I was a punk rocker. I know the music. I know the style. I'm quizzing him on it, and he's failing miserably. He doesn't know anything about the style at all. Nothing about the music. No, dude, he likes Nickelback, and he likes, Chris Brown, Metallica and Pantera from them crazy days, Limp Bizkit, break something. Yeah, it's my favorite jam. He's saying, I'm like, bro, no. So then you have this skinhead. He's hitting the streets, dressing like a skater and listening to 105.1 rock and roll hits, knowing nothing about the culture. I believe that's what happened. I believe there are skinheads out walking around. They're just not boots and braces because I don't think they got schooled on it. Or you tell me. I guess there could be a small percentage. I thought about this too. I guess there could be some that say the parole officer comes in and says, look, I know you're skinhead. You're not allowed to wear Doc Martens. I can see that. But dude, that's maybe account for like 10% of them. But you should still go outside and just once in a great while, dog, see someone walking around with some boots and braces and some chops and a snap cap. You just don't ever see the style no more. You never see the style. Let me tell you this about one of my best friends when I was a youngster kicking up dust as a punk rocker. This dude named Zach Scrivener. Zach Scrivener. He was a traditional skinhead. Him and I were buddies. He drove this white VW Bug. He sold weed. Always had a big bag of weed. His parents were real rich. He used to play tennis. Lived over off 24th Street in the real rich area. The Bakersfield was the first rich area in town. You had like Oleander, 24th Street. Like that's before they started building and had another rich place. That was like the original rich spot, homeboy. Shao! Westchester and all that lived back in there. Cool dude, I liked him. It was me and him that got jumped by those dirt heads. And the next day I kicked the dude with my steel-toe boots. Zach Scrivener, a good friend of mine. You know who Zach Scrivener or was? You know what he does today? That fool is on the Bakersfield City Council. What? It's just a trip. Probably don't like blow your mind like it does mine. Like we don't get it, Splinter. What do you mean? I mean this dude who I used to run around with, the first dude I ever dropped tabs of acid with. I was drunk and fell asleep at his house. He's like, before you go to sleep, here, eat this. I said, the tab. Fell asleep, woke up, the walls are melting. Like, what's going on? Dude, somehow, he went to college, he did something, he's on the Bakersfield City Council. Now you turn on the news, and you see the BPD at the Bakersfield City Council asking for more money because they want to raise. It's my old friend Zach Scrivener deciding if he's going to give the BPD more money. And it's just a trip, homeboy, because that's not how I knew him. But, I mean, people change and stuff. I really wish I had a picture of him and I back in the day, like, fighting with some dirt heads or something, smoking some weed. Like, hey, Zach, remember this? Let me tell you about this other dude I used to kick it with. Brett Dennis. He was a skinhead. Traditional skinhead. He drove a Volvo. Him and his mom, he lived with his parents out in Rosedale, went to BHS. I stayed at his house all the time. I come from poor, homeboy. My mom had 10 brothers and sisters. I always stayed with my mom's 10 brothers and sisters and my grandma. I didn't really live with my mom that much or my dad. I didn't really have nothing. Raised poor. Who cares? And anyways, Brett Dennis, though, cool dude, had a car, and I always stayed at his house. One night we were in his garage. We were in his freaking garage, and he stumbled across these pictures by accident. And it was pictures of his dad messing around with some hood rat. And we like seen him, he tried to hide him, like, but it was too late. Dude, there's your dad. He was butt naked by this green shirt. He had a freaking Wesso of all things. I tried to not see. And he was with some hood rat, and it took place in the garage, these Polaroids. And Brett was embarrassed. He's like, oh man. He tried to throw me away. I was like, dude, I've seen too much already. But we never spoke about it, never said nothing about it. I felt bad for him. Then I just had his house like a month later, and it's funny because his dad can walk out of the bedroom, he had that same green shirt on. And I was like, oh! And Brett saw it too, and he's like, oh! And it was like the same green shirt from the pictures, you and the hood rat and the Wesso. Whoa, get away from me. So, homeboy, yes, that's what I think happened. I think they did not get the culture. I don't think you can school someone in prison if they become a skinhead in prison and tell them how to dress and tell them what kind of music to listen to. I don't think it's going to work that way. Speaking of the BPD, who has seen the Hulu Killing County? I watched it, the 3-part documentary. I'm going to cover it, make some content. I'm going to do reaction to it. And bro, you guys should see that documentary. It's crazy. And it's just crazy seeing that your town, that you're from, your city, on the screen. And Hulu's doing a documentary on them, how they have the worst police force out there, bro. And they're showing all these things. And I have stories to go with it. I can tell you my own police brutality. I can tell you things that I've seen. You know what else they didn't touch on, though? They didn't touch on the county jail. Homie, the sheriff in the Kern County Jail will get that ass, dog. And I got some stories for it. But from now on, the cut string, let it fly. None of the most, some respect. Peace.